I think it's pretty safe to say that it's no secret that I do not like Transformers The Last Knight. I did a video about it recently about like the oversized Megatron and Nitro Zeus I have, and in that video I talked about how one of the best things about the movie was Megatron and Nitro Zeus. However, that's not the best thing according to Hasbro. Hasbro was in love with this idea of this dragon combiner guy called Dragonstorm. They made 3 toys of him. This is the Little Legion class, and it's honestly kind of cute. I do kind of like it. He's a 3-headed little dragon guy. They did also make a leader class that I never got, and maybe someday might get, but it never really looked that good to me. But they did a 3rd one, which is the main topic of today's video. But as you can see, Dragonstorm is a little dragon guy. He's pretty easy to transform. You can see this toy just represents him as one robot, when in the movie it's like a dozen or so knights that all combine into this big heaping mess of a cybernetic dragon. I don't think Dragonstorm was that cool. I think a lot of the really cool aspects of The Last Knight were cool on paper, but the execution was terrible. I actually think this toy looks better than how he looked in the movie with the black and red. However, like I said, Dragonstorm was the big push for Transformers The Last Knight. And because he was the big push, he got the flagship toy. This is the Transformers The Last Knight, I believe, Mega One-Step Dragonstorm. I got this thing for the price of a core class. This thing did not sell very well when it came out back in the day. I never got it back in the day, but then, again, back then I wasn't really going after all these flagship toys for the Transformers movies. However, recently I've kind of been going through and trying to get them. Like, I've got Ultimate Bumblebee, I've got Ultimate Devastator, I've got the big, like, Dark of the Moon Jetwing Prime. This is actually one of the last ones I didn't have. And for only $10, I figured, yeah, why not? And I figured you guys would enjoy seeing a video of it as well. So as you can see, he is essentially just a massive version of the Little Legion class. He is really, really big. I would say he is pretty comparable in size to, like, a really big commander class. We're talking, like, Jetfire, stuff like that. He's a very large boy. And he's pretty decent looking. I mean, just looking at these details and everything, you can see he's got a decent amount of paint. He's got a lot of reds. He's got some, like, coppers and golds. He's looking neat. He's definitely looking cool. You can see his wings behind him, and those look really interesting. He does have his big old sword accessory. We can go ahead and pull out his big sword accessory, and it's kind of difficult to figure out which way it should go, because it's more like a hook blade, but oh well, and just go ahead and put that in his hand, and now he's got this big old hook blade weapon just from his tail. That's pretty much the only accessory he has. And you can see once he's holding something, his arm will actually sit against his body, but when he's not holding something, it will just kind of dangle and float about. Ooh. His articulation is nothing, basically. You can move his elbows, and I guess he can move his arms, but that's not really articulation, that's flop-ticulation. Yeah, that's pretty much all of the movement you're going to get. The head doesn't move at all. The legs, as you can see, are just all a part of the big one-step gimmick. There is essentially no real articulation in this guy. But, I mean, it was the flagship gimmicky toy. After a while, they gave up on it actually being a very articulated figure, and they were just worried about the lights and sounds and the big aspect of it. I feel like this toy was kind of in competition with, like, larger dinosaur toys. I don't know, it kind of gives me like Jurassic World T-Rex vibes, especially in the dragon mode, but we'll go ahead and see that in a little bit. Getting a little bit closer in on this big old Dragonstorm, you can see his head sculpt looks cool. He definitely looks interesting. I actually think he's cooler as just one big giant knight robot instead of a million other knights just combined into a dragon. I definitely preferred this interpretation. But you can see like the sculpt of the armor and everything's actually really cool. He's got spiky knee pads. He's got really interesting looking feet. I mean, I think it's a cool design. I definitely think they did a cool design on this Dragonstorm. Around the back, you can just see the legs, the dragon heads, this massive handle. Yeah, It has a lot going on in the back. So we'll just kind of leave him facing this way. He does have lights and sounds, which is very awesome. I really wish more modern Transformers had lights and sounds. But we can go ahead and hit this nice shiny button in his chest and see what he has to say.
Protect the staff. Away, vile beasts. We are sworn to protect. 'Tis our sacred vow. Burn. Justice. For Cybertron.
I think he has some pretty cool voice lines. I know I can say, when I was a kid, if I had this guy, I think it would be really cool that my giant robot dragon just said, burn. That was pretty cool. But yeah, I think we've pretty much said all we got to say about the bot mode on this guy. Alright, so to get him transformed, it's pretty simple. We will just remove the tail, and we can just plug it back in. It can store back here, as you saw. We can just clip it in right down there. Clips in pretty easy. I think it goes that way, or does it go this way? I think it goes this way. There we go. So before I do the big special transformy thing, I want to show you all of the various phrases he says as he's going between one form and another. A few of them are kind of cool, and I figured I'd go ahead and show that off.
Knights unite. Three heads are better than one. Bear witness. Arise, champions! Convert by 4. Feel the force of our fire.
Alright, so how to get him in the dragon mode. I would say make sure you have plenty of space because the arms are going to flail a little bit. So we're going to hold down on the trigger. We're going to move him down a little bit.
3 heads are better than one.
I like that phrase a lot. And then as we're moving him down, make sure the arms are kind of like in the middle. And then just move him down all the way. And there we go. There's Dragonstorm in his beast mode. And then it's pretty easy to convert him back to the robot. In my opinion, it's easier. Just take that handle again, move it up. But make sure you do it with a little bit more force this time.
Bear witness.
And then he's back to a bot. Alright, getting him back into that cool dragon mode. A little faster this time. It's just nice to make sure that the arms are like tucked in between these legs right here so they're not just dangling everywhere. But yeah, the dragon's really cool. The dragon's nice and big. I enjoy the size of it. It does seem like it could be somewhat rideable, you know, with an Optimus Prime or something, if you want to get a Prime on there. You can see, again, next to the little tiny Legion, it's pretty large. He is definitely large and in charge. Articulation in the dragon mode is, you know, you can move his arms a little bit, but again, I'm pretty sure it's mostly for the transformation, but you can move him a little bit, I guess, if you feel that to be necessary. The heads move with the handle. This is where I was talking how it gives me heavy, like, Jurassic World toy vibes, because you take that handle and you push it down, and it's like he breathes fire. I think it's pretty cool. You can see the lights, too. It's got red lights, blue lights. Definitely pretty neat. The original robot mode button doesn't work anymore. That only really activates once he's in the robot mode. But yeah, it's pretty cool how you have a nice swooshable dragon. I do think the handle is pretty fun for play. Like, I can imagine kids playing with this thing, and, you know, once it lands, it just starts breathing fire on all the Decepticons. I think this is a pretty fun toy. I think it's pretty cool at what it's trying to achieve. Now, granted, is it perfect? No. They could have put way more articulation into this guy. I know for sure they could have given him, like, knee joints. They could have given him, like, a head swivel. They could have done a little bit more to make this guy a little bit more playable, at least in the bot mode. But I think it's like a flagship toy that's a little bit on the cheaper side. I think it was decent. I personally prefer it over the big, like, Chomp Stomp Grimlock. That was the big one for the previous movie. But I definitely don't think this holds a candle to, like, the animatronic ones, like the animatronic Primal or, you know, Ultimate Bumblebee, stuff like that. It's a neat toy. It's neat. But definitely not something that I think every collector needs. I just like going through and talking about these old, crummy flagship Transformers toys every once in a while. And I hope you guys enjoyed my look at this one. It's big Last Night Dragonstorm. Woohoo! Do you have him? Do you like him? Let me know down in the comments below. Special shout out to channel members, as always. Thank you all so much for your continued support. Have a great one, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.